So I just wanted to like share with you guys, something that really bothered me. It's not having a graveyard for my dad, and um, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that it's probably feeling like wish they had a graveyard for their dad, where they can go and pay their respect, or at least go and see the graveyard. We got none. So my dad passed away when I was very young, like you know, a very long time ago. I think I was 2 or 3, and I think where they buried him, that was long time ago. It's during the maybe after the last war in 1989 or something like that. But he passed away in the early 90s. Um, and I think where they buried him, they didn't like bury him where they put cement on the graveyard and maybe have like a cross with his name on it, like you know a, like a solid graveyard is what I meant. Because I think if they had that, it should still be there standing. So that is one of the most painful things that I always think about it. I'm like, I wish we had a graveyard for our dad, and so that we could go and honor him. But there's none. There is none. Even pictures of him, like I literally, like my uncle managed, I don't know, my uncle managed to find one picture of my dad, and that's the only thing that we hold on, is that one picture. Just one of those days, guys. I don't know even, is it possible? Like sometimes I was talking to my sister, I'm like, I wish we had a graveyard for our dad, that we could just go and visit, like, where we could just go and visit and speak to him. But unfortunately, this war that took place in our country messed up so many people. So many people lose their loved ones. Some of them, their loved ones even never get to be buried. And as you grow up, you grow with that pain and be like, I wish he had a proper funeral. I wish she was buried in a place where I could go and visit. So if you're also like me, hang in there, because there's nothing we can do. I don't think we could go and look for our parents' graveyard when they were not buried with cement, where the graveyard is buried. It's built nicely. But it is well. Wherever he is, I know that he is watching and taking care of us. He had always protected us. I'm somebody that didn't really, grow up with my dad and to have that connection. But guys, whenever I would feel down, like growing up, whenever I would feel down, I would actually talk to my dad, and I felt like I find some comfort and I find some peace. That just shows that even if we didn't have that connection, but even just that few years you know, that few years that we had, I just feel that connection. And yeah, whenever I would feel sad, I used to speak to him, and I still do. And I know that he's somewhere, and I know that one day we will meet. I just wish that he had a graveyard so that we could go and visit. Yep. Most painful thing is not having a graveyard. Nobody deserves that. But it was not something under control. I was asking my sister, because at least she was old enough, if she knew where he was buried. She just remembered people going up the hill. And that's all. That's all. So, yeah, we don't have a graveyard for our dad. And that thing still pains me. And I know I'm not the only person, of course, but I just wanted to share with you guys how I feel and how I just, that this is just something that bothers me a lot. Just wishing that we had a graveyard, that's it. But it's okay. He was an amazing person. All the good stories I hear from people that knew him. You know, my dad was a tailor. He used to make clothes. And sad that none of us took his skills. None of us are tailors. Like, not even one person took his gift. But I remember when I was like 13 and I went to Yale. That was my first time going to Yale. And I was passing by. Then there was this women that was staring at me. But because I don't know who they are, I just passed them and I went to the market. And then on our way back, me and my mom were going back to the church. We met the same women there, and then my mom went and greeted them, and then I greeted them. And they started saying that, they said they were questioning themselves. They're like, that is Aligo's daughter. But because they don't know me, you know, my dad passed away when I was still a baby or still a kid. Like I was very small. They really don't know me. So then they started telling me how my dad was so nice. My dad used to make their clothes for free. Like, you know, whenever you would take a dress for him to make it, he will make it. And when you want to pay, he will say it's okay. And I feel like all of us, my siblings, I feel like we took our dad's heart because he was a good man. And I feel like we have that heart. You know, we have that heart. We cannot see somebody struggling and not help. And I'm just grateful that, you know, his legacy, you know, he's known for the good things that he has done, you know, not be remembered being like, yeah, that man, he was very evil and he was very wicked. So I'm just so grateful that, you know, he helped so many people from his good heart. You know, there's supposed to be a business. You're supposed to make clothes and make money, but he will say it's okay. Like, he will reject the money. That is how nice he was. And he's been remembered for the good things that he has done to other people. And I know that one day we will meet and we'll get to catch up. Until then, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing, we can't even go and start looking for where he was buried, because maybe it's not even there anymore. I don't think there's any graveyards there anymore. But we just have to live with it. That's all. We just have to live with it. And thank God for the time that he was alive. And I'm happy that my sisters, my brother, they all got to experience his love and his kindness, his caringness. But for me and my little sister, you know, my dad had 2 wives, and we don't call ourselves stepsisters and stepbrothers. We are all brothers and sisters. My other sister, my little sister, we didn't really get chance to have that dad and daughters bonding. But it is well. It's all God's plan. You know, God knew why he has to go so early and leaving young ones. Anyways, if you're going through the same thing, stay strong and be grateful, because one day we will meet and we'll get to share all the stories and get to let them know how much we miss them.